All right,
The AI mullet.
AI fad,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Yeah.
fad. We're gonna next year we'll be back to normal.
I wish it was a fad. Listen, I know that when you approach even the topic of AI, I think that people first start asking where are you using it, right? You can use it in so many different places within the organization, and for us, it's a foundational layer. And then the next question might be, what does that mean? So for us, it's really the underpinning of our entire platform. And we're going to start with like a series of products, if you will, that kind of like have the AI drive certain elements of our product set.
Right. So what is it? What's the reality right now?
Of AI and specifically?
For you, like what's in production? What are people using?
Okay, good question. So, fortunately, Madhive had an early look at machine learning and AI because that's how we built a bidder. And you know very well, having sold beeswax to Comcast, like what it takes to have a pipe that can serve, local advertising. And so we were able to, early days, kind of figure out how to get a server of servers to kind of survey most of the bid stream to kind of get really the reach and extension that our clients look for in local advertising. AI, if you will, knowing that machine learning and AI are often interdispersed in commentary, really started to become now the thought of, okay, if we're going to set up an operating system for local advertising, what are the elements by which AI can be accretive?
All right, so...
No, I was saying we started, it's so as a foundational layer, as I first introduced, you first start with the people in the field, the sellers, right? We have thousands of sellers, as a lot of broadcasters and media groups white label our technology. And so those sellers really we're looking for effectively a coach, a sales assistant, and an ad ops person kind of in their pocket. So we kind of applied that to what they're doing in the field as they're creating proposals for their advertising. And we either have a pre-sale, where you can start doing a lot of work with the AI generating a lot of ideas for you, or you can go kind of more performance and outcomes and just kind of leave it on and kind of like figure out your constraints during the campaign and its flight.
Yeah, because these field salespeople, they are used to pretty simplistic kind of,
That's right.
You're buying the TV news
right.
for $50,000.
That's right.
Sign here. And now you're like, oh, well, it's digital and it might be on all kinds of websites and stuff.
Yeah.
So they need a lot of help.
They do need a lot of help, right? And so who can be their little kind of sales buddy, if you will, on the side that kind of is prompting them to kind of think about, gee, maybe if someone has a pizza shop and they're doing their first commercial, like, what are the parameters by which they can kind of go out and set up this campaign? Like, let's do a comparative analysis. Do we have data, from our historical campaigns, performance and outcomes that can help you determine what kind of audience you want to go after? Who converts? So it's really kind of getting them, and we have a lot of people either in the field working with our sellers and or this is intended to be effectively an unintimidating, sales assistant that makes you feel easier and more kind of turnkey.
Right. Okay, and what about the advertisers? What do local advertisers want out of this, or what are they getting?
They're really looking for the outcome, that they want.
It is outcome. They want to sell some pizza slices.
I know. It's like, and sometimes, it's like I want to get more people in my store. Sometimes it's like I want people on my website. Sometimes it's I really want to kind of get a particular CAC, lower my customer acquisition cost. So for what we're building is we're trying to set up those series of KPIs where people can kind of click. And then our Maverick friend here will come in and suggest the ways to get to that outcome. And then they effectively push accept and they kind of run it. And then it's constantly looking at ways to optimize the campaign. And you can either take its recommendation or you can continue on. So we always give the advertiser the ability and the seller to kind of tweak what it may recommend, though I think you and I both know, just having a background in this space, often the robots are right.
Yeah, often people don't accept that. But
I know.
So talk me through what Maverick is, who the users are, what's the most typical way they're using it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So we have the three kind of elements. We started with, again, the sales assistant Maverick that comes up again on the side, almost like you'd see with Gemini or ChatGPT. So it's that LLM format that just kind of continues to kind of get you excited about kind of presenting an actual advertising campaign to the end client. And that includes creative, right? Like getting a creative out there and saying, this is what we suggest. And people are like, oh my goodness, I can actually see, when people use the companies that are out there, as you know, with kind of streaming AI capability. And then actually it works into the audience, right? So the audience is more, and we grab the data from like three different places. We get Madhive data from performance and outcomes in the past. We have enterprise level LLMs. And then we have really kind of siloed data from the customer itself, should they want to use it, first-party data. So all that combines in kind of what we call an audience studio to create those audiences. And then at the end of the day, we really have a executive coach, which Maverick eventually, right now, and this is kind of more of a third, fourth quarter launch, we'll be able to I can hand the business to one of our broadcasters and say, this is how you're doing. These are your markets that are struggling, and these are your markets that are succeeding.
You know, I had a separate podcast interview with someone that's coming out, I think, on Thursday,
right,
where they were saying that, you know, just giving a prompt to a media planner or a salesperson is actually probably a bad idea.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate it. Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. It's
Yeah.
like they don't know what they want, and also the model may hallucinate when, in some cases, you're talking about facts, like what is the CPM?
Yeah.
So maybe you could talk us through like a little bit about how your product team thought about these problems. You know?
Yeah, you know, we're constantly looking at the pain points, right? Where we can automate and where AI can come in to kind of help us automate, and it's kind of some of the guardrails that we put on the machines, if you will. And so for the product kind of build out, again, we just went to like where are the biggest bottlenecks that we can start to automate, and can we have some kind of eyes and ears machine learning that will kind of start to reorient us to like where the seller wants to be, where the people who are actually working with the sellers want to be, and of course, eventually where the end advertiser wants to be. So it really is just kind of like this matrix and a Venn diagram of like, where can AI kind of, you know, figure out how to kind of push everything forward, at the same time making sure, to your point, that we have guardrails and kind of like manual overrides, right, that will allow us to kind of dial back where we think it's like a little bit out of range. So those are the kind of the considerations in the matrix.
Yeah, it's not generalized AI. It's AI for
Correct.
a specific reason.
Correct.
What do you do with creatives? Because
so
creatives are a big issue for
yeah,
small.
so we purchased a company, Madhive, by the name of Frequence, and Frequence, fortunately for us, and was part of the mental calculus of why to consider acquiring the company, has a creative studio. So so right now we've been pumping out thousands and thousands of display ads. We've been doing video ads, and we're candidly constantly looking at the ways that we can kind of accelerate that.
And then the customer can just upload their website, their assets,
That's right.
stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of considering like, and I guess leave names out of it for no favoritism, but there's a few that, you know, not only that, we're weaving them into like the proposal itself, right? So it's like, oh, by the way, you want to run a $5,000 campaign in that pizza shop I recommended or mentioned earlier. It's like, here's a creative, here's what it can do, and then here are the audiences that we built. And we have an example, Ari, that you might find interesting, where like we did something for an organic dog food, right? And we kind of beta tested, okay, so the humans say, well, let's go get a segment maybe from LiveRamp or wherever, or even first-party data of like dog lovers, right? And then we went and looked at the robots called Grab from those three kind of different data sources I mentioned. It's like, no, we're going to go after people that do yoga. We're going after people that buy organic food overall. We're going to have people that kind of shop in a particular stores 5 times the conversion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so
it makes sense. I mean,
it's
a real problem with the organic dog food in the fridge that people are eating it by accident. Like this is a real challenge. It's a behavior change. People aren't used to.
I was going to say, I may have
fridge.
accidentally done it once.
Yeah, was it good?
It was actually delicious.
I mean, if you heat it up, what's
really,
the problem,
not bad.
right?
No, it's like a casserole.
Yeah, a casserole. It's a dog. It's a dog casserole. I like it. Do you think dogs could use LLMs if they?
We're getting there, right? Yeah. I don't know, a little implant maybe. Maybe Neuralink will figure it out.
Google said they recently translated dolphin noises using AI. It's a true story.
Truly?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Did they see the behavior as a result?
The dolphins are like, fuck off.
As dolphins often do.
Yeah,
they've got that look on their face.
Dolphins have a sort of like attitude.
Agreed.
I was told I shouldn't say this, but I was told to ask you about Vika, and I have no idea what Vika is. Do you know what Vika is?
Vika is a client of ours, I believe, and what they've been able. And again, I guess maybe that's a soft plug for us to be able to actually.
It was a softball.
I appreciate it.
But, but you got to hit it. You got to hit it.
It's like turning into a beach ball right in front of me. I can see it.
I know. Vika. What's Vika?
And Vika would now be embarrassed because they're like, how do you not know that we're a client of yours? They've been fantastic in saying, okay, we're going to be a creative AI studio, and when the clients say, okay, thank you for this AI generated ad that makes our life a lot simpler. Now what do you do? And so they white label our tech and say, we'll activate on Madhive. And so we're actually looking that way for a lot of creative studios that are coming out in the AI world to say, well, you can white label Madhive, and that's where we got our start, as you know, right? The broadcasters started doing that. Now other groups can do it.
So not local anymore, just different kinds of
That's right.
Multi-level.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that, and again, from having the common ancestry of how you built out Beeswax, is that we're able to kind of like localize national. So it's like, you can spray all over the country, or you can just say, I want to pick these markets where I'm underserved, and we can kind of, get down to like half a zip code with a pretty mercurial audience if you really want to focus on it. So that's kind of where we have, I think, our competitive advantage.
It's interesting. So what's next for Maverick and for Madhive?
Yeah, Maverick is, in the process of launching out in different phases, I think, all throughout the year. So we're excited because I think the feedback loop, not only helping the sellers, finding the audiences that hopefully convert faster, getting kind of bigger basket sizes, if you will, for those advertisers, and then really showing our end broadcaster kind of business units how their business looks like and getting the insights from that to make that hopefully a stronger value proposition is really we're excited. So those are the three elements of Maverick, but we're not stopping there. It's like we're going to continue to figure out foundationally how it can drive any element. I'm always looking, and I know you are, for enterprise intelligence. So we're actually pointing Maverick inward too. Trying to figure out, like, candidly, like, hey, we're working on X client. No, you're not. I have the intelligence to say that you as an employee, it's a little big brothery, but it's still, I think, very important.
Yeah, it's a very valuable tool. All right, well, we're going to be back in an hour.
We are
reversing because you're interviewing me,
and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Now I shouldn't have given you such a hard time.
I started reading your book, and then.
All right, everyone, give a hand for Spencer for Matt.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.